Welcome to the South Florida Saltwater Fishing. I'm Heath, and time to get into the bite. Welcome to South Florida's ultimate resource for everything local fishing. Sorry we're a couple minutes late, but hey, that's part of the game. Anyway, like I said, South Florida's ultimate resource for everything local fishing. We're going to go over what's biting, who's catching it, where it's being caught. We're all your future marine forecast, the tide charts, and the moon phase. Everything you need to know to help keep you in the bite. All right, and before we get into this, if you want to learn more about fishing, grow as an angler, just see some great and exciting offshore fishing adventures, you can start by hitting the subscribe button and joining South Florida Saltwater Fishing family. All right, folks, let's get right into this. We got some closures and one opening, of course. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but don't shoot the messenger. I'm just the guy telling you and keeping you informed. FWC is going to shut down blue line tilefish. We knew this was coming, though, but they are giving us till July 22nd. So it ends, right? So we still got, we got 2 more months, which isn't bad. Last year, it only lasted like a month, maybe 2 months. This year, we got 3 months out of it. So, hey, yeah, it's a bummer. You know, the commercial guys are going to get the lace into them while you sit on the sidelines. But, hey, you still got a couple more months. So, you know, get out there and get them. Bright sunny days in the middle of the day when everything else stops biting, and you go and drop them. They're in 400 to 500 feet. Blue line topfish. All right. What's our next closure? We've got a couple grouper closures. This is be the closure for Atlantic snowy grouper. And yes, the tilefish was on the Atlantic side, by the way, just to be clear. These are closures of Atlantic stuff. So yes, June 9th. So a couple of weeks, snowy grouper. So if you're out there fishing for tilefish and you hook into one of these, yeah, you're going to have a descending device that can get you back down to, you know, whatever depth you're fishing in. But snowy grouper is done for the year. At least you had a month and a week. There we go. All right. And our next final closure is going to be gag grouper. Gag grouper. Let's see when they're deciding to close this one. Gag grouper is closing June 26th. So you still got about another month to fish for the gag groupers in Atlantic state waters. So there you have it, folks. 2 groupers are closing and tilefish. Like, well, we knew the tilefish was going. Now we're going to go to an opening, which is going to be Gulf State waters, I believe, for snapper, red snapper. For Memorial was open this past weekend, right? So down here, they've got these scattered weekends open. So it was open for the 24th through the 26th. It closed yesterday. Now you'll get a next weekend, June 1st, July 31st, and coming September. It's scattered dates. Check FWC for those days. That's, you know, DeSantis gave the West Coast guys a couple more, you know, days in this, a bunch more days in this. So there we have it. Red snapper. You could go and get them this weekend and this coming weekend too. You'll have a chance to get out there and go on ahead and go get them. All right. So now let's start talking fishing, right? The tilefish is a bummer. Sometimes you don't even get a chance to get out there and get them. All right. Let's hit up Facebook and look at what we got caught this week. All right, we'll start out on the reef. This is Nick. Nick went to the reef and he found himself some solid fish. Nice mutton snapper, a couple of yellowtails, and a big old hog body red grouper. You know, they haven't closed that one down yet, so that's good. When they start closing down the reef groupers like that, you know, I understand gags. They're out a little deeper and all that. But once they start closing down the blacks and the reds, then, you know, it's kind of makes life tricky. All right, so this is our reef bite. Again, we've been seeing a heavy snapper bite. We're coming up on a snapper spawn, so let's keep doing that. Let's also look at, everybody was pretty much lacing it into the tuna and the mahi this weekend. We've got some great catches, great stories. Here we go. Gene, nice barracuda, solid barracuda. You know, out by, it looks like he's out of Port Everglades right there with that cargo ship back there, you know. Hey, bigger the better, right? Nobody really ever wants to catch a cuda on purpose, but hey, they're always fun and they're big fish with big scary teeth. You know, get the kids. Let's go. This is West Coast up north, right? This is Marlo Kennedy Aleba getting in on the red snapper bite. Like we said, we had it open that weekend and a couple red groupers you see this nice little tiny little dolphin right here. So you got to remember, folks, there's a couple of people that have been posting stuff on Facebook with these dolphins that look more like wahoo and marlin bait than the solid dolphin. They're not regulated the way they are on the East Coast. So, you know, if you see that, you just got to bear in mind, people are, the West Coast is not regulated. There's no size limit on them. So, all right. Nice catch for the ladies. There we go. And here we go, Mike. Solid. Look at that fat cobia. Oh, big one right there. Down St. Louis, getting in on the cobia bite. That's some good eatings too, man. Pretty nice cobia. So if you ever wondered, a cobia looks kind of like a remora. Yes, they are related. They're related to sharks, but they are also directly related to remoras too. Makes you wonder. I literally do know people that eat remora too. Anyway, they say it's not bad. A little bit of trivia. Anyway, solid fish for Mike right there out of St. Lucie, sharing with that cobia. He says he's traveling to Bermuda by boat for the next couple of months. He's going to get out there and have an epic fishing adventure. All right, so we're going to head off there real quick, and we're going to take a look at some other folks. Like I said, dolphin and tuna. This was the weekend. We've had a couple of great weeks worth of weather. This is Paul Smith. Got out there on the tuna. You got the lone tile fish, of course, you know, hit that midday fishing. Some blackfins, some dolphin. There he is out on the boat. There we go. They got the TLD on the bent butt rod. Some nice blackfins going on. Sharon, they're having a great time. You can see they're on the weed line back in the background. And yeah, hey, great catches right there. Lots of food and lots of fun, it looked like. And we got, this is, so you see, folks, when I say please don't advertise stuff, don't do this. I always say it at the end of the time. So we're going to have to say, we're not going to suspend it. We're just going to remove the post. This is what happens. And I'll give you a shot or two. I got faith in humanity, but hey, come on, give me a break. No advertising. All right. Sean Saunders, sorry. Out on the jet ski, couple of nice mahi. Look at that, man. That's tough stuff. Oh, he's got 3 in the bag. I didn't see that one down there hidden. Hey, man, great hookups, and you know, you gotta have your wits about you when you're out on the jet ski, and especially when you hook into mahi, especially if you get doubled up or anything like that. So. What did he say? He found a frigate in 850 off Fort Lauderdale. So he's out there, man. He's good. 850 is about 7-8 miles out. Double hookup on the jet. Yes, so he did double up. Found the third one hanging out around a gallon jug in 400. So hey, he said he went out at 2:30 in the afternoon too. So it's an afternoon bite for the mahi for Sean. Great job. Got some folks. All right, here we go. Jody Hill. What an amazing start to the Memorial Day weekend. What did they say? Got the first sailfish. Perfect, man. Bucket list fish and mahi and kings to boot. So let's take a look here. Oh, look at the action shot of the sailfish jumping. Oh, good stuff. Nice kingfish going on. The mahi. Perfect, obviously. More mahi pictures. And, you know, hey, great gas shot going on. They got the little squirt squid double hooked up. Good to go, and back to the sailfish. So, hey, congrats on those catches. Those are some very nice catches. And obviously they had a great Memorial Day weekend. Here we go. Eric. Nice. Looks like they're jigging. They jigged up this BFT. Very good. Solid. Like I said, the mahi and the tuna, they're all over the place. And they got a kingfish, so a little bit of everything right there. Trifecta, right? All they're missing is the KDW, but they got the KDBFT. Oh, cool. So the tuna are swimming around, folks, right? Tuna, mahi, the kings are showing up too. And let's see. Jennifer showing off their low mahi. That's a nice right there. And it took the kid out. Got some, some nice gear going on, and then they look like they ran into the mother load on another. That's the same day. Hey, they got them look like they got darn near limit going on. So Perfect. The mahi are out there running, folks. This is the time to go and get them. And now we're going to go back to our Monday post and finish with more of the same. Like I told you, man, the mahi and the tuna were the story of the week. So let's look at this. Jim, 4 charters out of Boynton. You're looking for a charter boat captain out of 4Js. He took out Bentley this week, a cancer survivor. Got him on some fish. You know, great story. Love to hear stories like this. You know, people, you know, taking on life and, you know, coming out successful and then, you know, living their best life. This is Bentley. And, you know, congratulations to him on his major milestone in life. And Jim, 4J's charters out of Boynton. If you need a charter captain out of Boynton, hit him up. If you can't hit him up, hit me up. I can put you in touch with him. Let's see what else he got. He also got, so he said, yes, like I said, beat cancer. His dream was to catch big fish and a mahi. He caught 3 mahi, 2 tuna. Mahi was 10 pounds. Tuna was 17. Way to go, Bentley. Captain Jim, 4J's charters. And, you know, happy Memorial Day, folks. And, you know, reminding everyone to not forget the heroes that made this all possible for us. All right. And there he is. Look at that. They're big old blackfin on the jig. Awesome. So the kid had a great outing and, you know, made his dream come true. And you can tell by that big smile that he is not at all disappointed. There we go. Jason Reese, some Memorial Day fishing. Happy Memorial Day. Fish below caught on zoom winches and needle strips, except the mahi was caught on Mahi Maniac's green skirt and a green needle strip. And he's got all sorts of stuff. Let's see if we can. There we go. Jason, that's a big old kingfish. Oh, actually, he's doing this one. But hey, still some solid fish. And, you know, look, the mahi's definitely a good-sized one. So, hey, congrats, Jason. Jason, Guggen the Pro Offshore Angler YouTube channel. Check him out. He's a great angler, shares the knowledge, tells you what he's doing, you know, all the goodness that you need to know to get out there and get into the hookup, right? Great channel, great guy, great father, family man, everything, and also getting it done and getting into the bite. There we go. Michael, again, more mahi. Like I said, they're getting it done. You know, putting the tacos on the table. Everyone, right? Done. Here we go. Todd Prince, kingfish and 10 big old butterball blackfin tuna. Solid day out on the water. I believe he said he limited out. He had 5 people on the boat. And yes, this is the one he said he had to throw back because they were already limited out. So they had a stellar day. A limit in tuna, which is 2 per person or 10 per boat. If you got 6 people on the boat, you can still only get 10. Remember, they are, you know, regulated like that. So, hey, great job for Todd. Gary took a short trip out of Haulover for the tuna among the weeds in 2:30. And, you know, I got to say, I really like that shirt that kid's wearing right there. They got some great taste in apparel. He's wearing a South Florida saltwater fishing shirt from WindRider. And a great, nice little football tuner to go home, you know, fillet that bad boy up, make some sashimi or make some steaks on the grill. Great stuff. Blackfin. Like I said, folks, the blackfin and it's endless. Look at this. More tuna. This is Alex. And well, a false albacore in there, but look at that one. The butterball right there. He's got a mix of it. He's got bait and dinner all in the bucket. Great going. And don't forget, you know, the little false albacore like this one down here is, you can eat those. They're not horrible. The bigger ones, they're bonita strips and chunks and all that goodness. But hey, congratulations on the catch to Alex. Neil Link, PalmBeachCharters.net, blackfin out of Palm Beach. Solid one too. That's, again, the big ones. This is the time of year where the big female blackfin show up and eating. If you ever want to fish for tuna, quality tuna, right? May heading into June is when these big ones show up. The big females, they're feeding, and you know, pretty much with reckless abandon because they're hungry, because they're going to go mate, and this migration will soon end, and then you'll be back to catching the footballs, right? So, Neil Link, palmbeachcharters.net. Charter boat captain out of Palm Beach Inlet. Again, same deal goes, folks. If you need a charter out of Palm Beach, hit up Neil. He can put you on fish like these. If you can't get a hold of him, again, hit me up. I can put you in touch with him. All right, very good. Congrats to Neil and his customers. And look at this. This is a whopper of a dolphin. This is Juan. Man, they weighed this thing. Somewhere I saw the weight was like 42 pounds. That's a solid bull. You don't see many of them swimming around here. But man, look at that thing. That's a grown mahi right there. Yeah, congratulations on that one, man. And here we go, back with Alex, right? So Alex looked at all of his catches here. He's got a single photo or a little bit of a video going on, showing you that's the big old butterball, right? Oh, man, big fish. Back to Gene. And here we go. We're going to go with Dean. Good Saturday morning out of Boca. Both caught in 200 and 220. He's got a nice mahi and then a nice blackfin. You know, again, the usual suspects of what is swimming around right now. And you can pretty much look forward to getting into the bite with them. Congratulations, Dean. And that about does it, folks. Like I said, the talk of the town right now is the dolphin and the tuna, right? Snappers are swimming around too. So if you're a reef person, hey, get out there, do your chumming. Drifting for muttons is definitely happening right now. Chumming for yellowtails is happening. And that's about it. You might get the incidental cobia like Mike did up north. There's too. It is that time of year. It's just more tricky. The cobia are more of I've found they're more of a West Coast fish where you can actually go, hey, I've got a cobia spot. Out here off the East Coast, not so much. But, you know, always great when you run into them. And, you know, as usual, the sailfish and the deep dropping stuff, right? The snowy grouper, the tilefish are going there. Rosies, always 800 feet. All right, let's get on to our weather and see what's going to, folks. So as we go through the weather, all these websites that we use are in the description. Just check it out and click and copy and paste, right? This is Windy. Windy's very cool, especially if you're on a PC. We can go, like, say right now, this is today. Right now where we're at, you can click on any area on a PC and it'll tell you what your wind speed is. It'll tell you your wave heights. You can calculate. It's got a plethora of, you know, different settings you can look at. I tend to look at wind, waves, and rain, you know, rain and thunder. So we'll say 6 knots at the southeast right now. That's current, right? So, you know, anywhere you want to, up and down the east or west coast and all the way down and from the Keys into the lower Keys. I mean, you can literally go anywhere. You can look at the Bahamas and all that stuff. And remember, this is also just forecasting, which can change on the daily basis without any notice. All right. Tomorrow morning, we're looking at the wind being elevated. What I did hear from the local forecasters is that our chances of rain, we're in the rainy season, right? So it's going to start raining. You're probably going to see offshore storms gathering in the morning and the inshore stuff in the afternoon as night starts to fall and all that goodness. We are in that summer weather pattern. Now, our rain chances are going to increase come the weekend because what's going to happen is we've got another front, not a cold front, just a front. It's going to come out and it's going to stall and it's going to dump, you know, a ton of water. We got like a 60% chance of rain, they said. So we'll see. All right. Anyway, tomorrow, right? Winds from the southeast. Again, if this is your first time using wind or anything, down here's a color-coded chart. Tells you what it is. Look at the color-coded chart or click. Let's say we want to see what's happening in Fort Lauderdale. We're looking at 10 knots from the southeast tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Go up. We're looking at 6 knots from the south. Okay? So that's how windy works. And in the lower Keys, they're looking about a little bit more elevated wind, 11 knots from the southeast. So it's going to start getting bumpy over the next couple of days. You know, probably not too bad, but like I said, be a little sport with this wind coming. So Wednesday, tomorrow afternoon, looks like it slows down in the Miami area, down to 6 knots, you know, and the further north we go up towards Palm Beach, not much of a change. So the wind seems to be elevated in the morning and kind of peters off in the afternoon, making it hot, right? Instead of that onshore breeze. 9 knots from the east down in the lower Keys. and not much lighter, 8 knots east in the upper Keys. So Thursday morning, again around the same wind speed, heading from the southeast, 10 knots. So we're going to stay about the same with our wind. And the further up north you go, it looks like it's going to head towards the come from the southwest at like 5 knots. So Vero Beach, St. Lucie, all that stuff. Thursday morning, they're looking at, probably having the seas lay down a little bit, be able to get out there and probably get back on them fish. Thursday afternoon, lightens up, especially in the lower Keys, 7 knots, Tri-County area. Let's take a look around BOCA, 8 knots from the south. So not too bad, right? Up all the way up on the west coast, you've got a little bit of convection and spinning going on. Tampa Bay looks nice. The Skyway Pier folks are, getting on bite up there. Haven't heard much from them lately, but I'm sure that, the mackerel one, the last time I checked in, was happening all the way out. Again, they've got this red snapper season happening. Hey, how you doing? Hey, love your fishing videos. They're full of no-nonsense information. Yeah, but I don't think you've done many lately. Are you thinking of doing any soon? I'm trying, man. I haven't really been fishing much in the last year and a half. My boat's broke right now, so can't even get out fishing. And, but hey, when I start to get back out, I'm sure I'm going to be rusty and have to get back into the groove. Yes, I would love to make more videos, but I'm not the guy who wants to just go and say, hey, look at what I caught. I want to have like a basis of what I'm trying to show. So developing new ideas and going, hey, maybe we should try this. Maybe it'll work. And if it does work, then we can, implement it into a video and have a story to tell along with it. So it's a little bit more involved. Like I said, I'm not just, look at me, look at what I'm catching. I caught 100 fish from this beach, eating what I caught. That's just not me. But I would love to. Yes, as soon as I can get back into the groove and the swing of it, of course, they will be coming sooner than later. Thanks, Eddie. Cutler Bay in the house. There we go. That's what I'm talking about, James. Thank you. All right, back to our weather forecast. Yes. Yes, you're welcome. Thank you for asking. And okay, so Thursday, Friday morning, looks like our wind pickup. Like I said, there's going to be a front coming, right? And it's going to stall. And it's going to increase our rain chances heading into the weekend. So, but we got this southwesterly flow, the more further north you go, which will probably start to create a swell, as we see. When we go and we check out our wave heights, right? The Keys, they're getting it straight from the south, so it's coming right at the land. So their waves and their chop is going to be elevated. Over on the west coast, they're getting it too. So come the latter part of the week, it looks like the wind up and not be so pleasant. From the south, is still, if you look at the green, we're between 10 and 20 knots. You can just guesstimate that. They're saying 16 from the south. This is in the afternoon on Friday. The Keys, the lower Keys, look like they get cut a break in the afternoon. But again, just because your wind slows down doesn't mean your seas lay down instantaneously. Saturday morning, from the southwest, 14 knots. So, hey, remember, we've got that front, right? Elevated chances of rain, southwest wind, going to make a swell. So, the seas will be laid down fairly well. A chance to get out there again, but bring the rain gear. And the southwesterly flow continues all the way up north. So Tampa, the west coast is taking a pounding from the wind this time around. And the further you go up north around the tip of the peninsula is where you start to get, and those seas are laid down, especially up, north of Vero Beach. You're going to have, you're looking at some stuff that's going to be some nice calm seas, and we'll see what they're going to call for the swell to be. That's Saturday. Sunday, again, still coming from the southwest. So this is going to be great news. Like I said, you're looking at the swell. That's going to be this will look more than likely is our front that has stalled right there, like we were talking about. And then it starts to do weird things come Sunday afternoon. It's all over the place. We got, wind creeping in between areas of high pressure, and it just doesn't look like the wind knows what it wants to do. It's going to be all over the place. But the one thing we can probably guarantee is those afternoon showers. That's Sunday. Monday, again, the wind early in the morning continues from the west. So, the weekend, we're going to get this swell coming in. It's going to be, rather, doable. Just be careful and time it right as you're leaving the inlets. And it continues Monday afternoon. The Keys are getting it from the south, but more up into the body of the peninsula. We got the southwesterly flow. And Tuesday, the wind shifts. So that's pretty much the end of it come Monday night. And we head into Tuesday. And then it starts ripping again from the southeast. You can see here, this is what, down in the lower Keys, you're looking at 25 knots steady. And don't get knots and miles an hour mixed up. A knot is 1.1 miles an hour. So, all right. Morning. Yeah. So starting going to pick back up. So Friday, starting Friday, we got an increased chance of rain, but that front's going to push our wind to the west. So it'll make our seas lay down and create a swell. So let's go on ahead and take a look at our waves, and we'll come back to tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, 2 to 3 foot seas from the east. Down in the Keys, a little bit mid to lower Keys, 3 foot. So not bad. You can get out there and do it. Further up north, you say Vero, 3 foot seas northeast, and they've got a period of 7 seconds. So the period is good. The waves aren't too bumpy, which means they won't be very bumpy, but still 3 foot waves down. Palm Beach, 7 second period. So we're doing good. The 7 second period is good. If you're looking more for like a 9 second period, that's like a good, nice, smooth swell that doesn't really, get on anybody's nerves. All right. Wednesday afternoon, 2 foot at 6 seconds. Everglades National Park, in their 2 inches of water is dead flat all the way up the west coast is looking good, and that is tomorrow. Thursday morning, same thing. 2 foot at 6 seconds on the east coast, a little bit further north, St. Lucie, Vero area, 2 foot at 7 seconds. So not bad. The further offshore you go, obviously you got this darker shade here that you're looking, but I mean, this is like 50 miles offshore. So just bear that in mind. The Keys, upper Keys, 2 foot 4 seconds, but choppy right there offshore. Keys are looking at 2 foot at 4 seconds. West Coast, looking mighty good in the Tampa Bay area, all the way down to Naples and all that goodness. And that's Thursday afternoon. Looks like it lays down a little bit, and our waves are coming back up 2 foot. Same stuff at 5 second period. So our period's shortening as we head into Thursday and Friday, it looks like. But then our wave direction will probably shift from a more northeasterly direction in the coming days. 2 foot 4 seconds. So yeah, it's starting to turn a little choppy Thursday afternoon. And let's see, will that hold? Now we're looking at 1 foot and 5 seconds Friday. So, rain chances increased, front coming stalls, but the water conditions get better and they pick up at the afternoon. So that's what's happening Friday afternoon. Lower Keys is 1 foot at 4 seconds. So they're looking pretty good. Upper Keys 2 foot 3. That's pretty choppy. So it's kind of all over the place. It depends upon what logistic you're looking at. Let's say for in Port St. Lucie, they're 2 foot at 5 seconds. So it's all over the place as this front approaches. And Saturday morning, we are looking at, again, we've got the wave. So you can see our wave direction is heading west, right? That means it's going to lay down 2 foot at 3 seconds. They're saying it's going to be a little choppy, but your waves are going to be heading away from the shore. So if you're trolling, if you're planning to trolling, doing that as you cut back in and you're heading back towards the coast, be prepared for a bumpy wet ride. But as you head off, you're good to go. 2 foot at 3 seconds. And let's see if it's going to develop a swell with these west winds or if it's going to stay easterly. You can see we've got a little bit of a confused sea going on up here. Palm Beach area, 1 foot at 4 seconds, and this is Sunday morning. So yeah, it is laying the ocean down a little bit with those winds. So you're going to have elevated winds, higher chance of rain, but a little bit of a lay down sea. This is Sunday afternoon. Again, 1 foot at 2 seconds, and we got a little bit of a confused sea going down. We go down to Miami, 2 foot seas at 3 seconds. So it looks like it's going to be a little choppy, more so than a swell heading our way with the wind change. And again, it could be because it's a summertime front and not a wintertime front that drives that, all that water from up northeast. Monday, 7 a.m. 2 foot at 3 seconds. Again, still heading, the waves are heading offshore. So again, if you're going for those pelagics, this wave direction, the wind direction is going to push all of your debris and your seaweed and your flotsam offshore to make it a little bit more difficult to find the mahi and get into the hookup. Up north a little bit, 1 foot at 4 seconds from the southwest to still lower upper keys, 2 foot at 3 seconds. So it's choppy, right? It's heading out from the waves coming from the west. Looks like it lays down come Monday afternoon, 1 foot at 4 seconds from the southeast. So the wind starts to change, and heading into Tuesday, when we get that wind, that's going to start picking up. We're looking at 2 foot and heading into Wednesday, and it starts getting rougher, and you see what happens on Wednesday. The waves are getting bigger. So, and we did see that wind start to pick up from the southeast starting Tuesday. So that's what we're looking at. Now let's just take a look at our rain chances. And again, we are in, rainy season, right, folks? So this is tomorrow morning. Again, offshore storms in the morning, and more than likely inshore storms in the afternoon. So the afternoon, again, here you go. It's typical Florida summer pattern. Wet in the afternoon, inshore in the mornings. We're looking at offshore, right? Offshore, this is Thursday morning. Offshore storms gathering moisture over the ocean in the afternoon. Bang. Let's see if it follows the pattern on Friday as the front approaches. Remember, we've got this approaching, and it's going to stall. So, don't be surprised in the morning. Again, offshore pattern, storms over the Bahamas. And here comes our front. This is the afternoon. So you see a more storm coverage, not just over the mainland. Saturday, again, like I said, that wind picks up, the seas kind of lay down, but we've got storms in the morning, thunderstorms up towards St. Lucie. These are, some lots of rain, thunder. So, nothing to really be, and that will head south. So this is our front, and it's going to pass through the day during Saturday. Sunday morning, this is where it has stalled over the southern tip of the peninsula with the rain continuing, and it just seems to head more offshore as we go into the latter part of Sunday. And the Monday will probably start clearing out. Right now it's big storms way offshore out in the Gulf. Monday afternoon, offshore storms. Tuesday, again, the wind starts ripping, and here comes more rain. So, the rain possibility over the weekend as that wind shifts with that storm, it makes the seas a little bit choppy, but not so bad. But the rain is going to come, and it's going to be out there. So if you're heading out there, just be prepared to be dodging storms, running from them, and if it gets too gnarly, you're going to have to race yourself in. Anyway, so that's what we got for our windy. Now let's take a look at WindFinder, right? Same thing, pretty much, just the numerical version of it, and keep on keeping on, right? All right, so here's today. Tomorrow, low double digits from the southeast, like they said. Not very much moisture in the morning, and in the afternoon, not too bad. Seas, 2 to 3 foot seas at an 8-second period. So we're looking at a swell right this, and so you got to take both of these, and both windy and wind finder, and balance it. And again, check the reality of it too. Use your tools, your webcams, beach cams, inlet cams, everything that you got, so that you can make a very educated trip plan. Thursday, southeast winds. Friday, southeast, mid to low double digits, heading back up in the upper digits as the Friday evening pool rolls in. Again, 2 to 3 foot seas, 6 to 7 second period. The waves are heading from the east to the southeast. A little bit of variation in there both days. Saturday, again, here comes that wind from the southwest. Switches up during the night, but it continues from the southwest. And here's your rain chances. It looks like more of it's going to be overnight Saturday night into Sunday morning, heading through about the mid-morning, right? And then after that, looks like it'll just be cloudy and clear out. So obviously, if you get out there Saturday and Sunday, looking at those weather conditions, I would say don't bring out the electric gear for tile fish, because they're not going to bite. All right, and we're looking at 1 foot waves, 2 foot waves from the southeast, 5, 7, 6, 7 period, second period. So not too bad, right? It's it'll be doable. Again, we're going to have that west wind, which will be blowing the waves. The wind finder says the waves are going to come from the southeast at 1 to 2 foot seas. Windy was saying the waves are going to head to the west, away from the shore, because of the wind. So, you just have to get out there and figure that one out. Monday into Tuesday, more rain. Tuesday looks like it's going to start being clear again, but again, we're going to have that wind starting to really pick up come Tuesday. Tuesday morning looks like light stuff, but the waves are going to consistently pick up into the mid part of next week. So that's what we're looking at, folks, for our weather forecast. All right, let's look at our moon, right? See where we're at. For those folks that like to fish by the moon, especially if you are a mackerel, wahoo type fisherman. Right now, we are at a new moon, which means if you are fishing for the bait, if you're going for the goggle eyes in the middle of the night, the thread fins, all that goodness, this is the moon you want. No moon, big, best under the cover of darkness. The pelagics, like we had this, you saw this great bite because the moon was waning, heading towards the new moon. So the less light, the less the bait is illuminated, the harder it makes the hunt at night to happen. And as we head towards the full moon, the more the fish eat at night. And the bite is a little bit more tricky. They can be more finicky depending upon how well they fed that at night. All right, so this is today. Tomorrow, really? I don't want any of this. I want my moon phase. All right, today. Tomorrow, we start to wax, right? Waxing means we're heading towards the full moon. Waning means we're heading towards the new moon. Tomorrow, 3%. Thursday, 9%. Friday, 17%. So as we head into those weekends, we've got a little bit of moonlight going on, but still not ultra bright, which means the pelagic bite, should you find them with these funky conditions going on, it should be, happening. And again, we've seen reports of dolphin and tuna showing up in all depths. The magic number for the tuna seems to be 180 to 2-something, 250, 220, somewhere around there. And the dolphin are just all over. I've seen them in 180. I've seen them in 400, 850, 900, 600. They're all out there. You just got to find the weed lines with the bait underneath them. If you hit a weed line and there's nothing swimming underneath it, don't even bother, because there's no food for the fish. The fish ain't going fish, if that makes any sense. All right, and Monday, or is this Sunday? Gee, stop with the ad. 27 is today, 28 is Wednesday, 29 is Thursday, Friday is the 30th, Saturday, 25%. Hey, there we are. So glad we're professional and we got back on. Anyway, so yeah, our moon is, let me get back to the moon. Gotta love this high quality production here, folks. Can't get it anywhere else, man. I cut out just as much as the local news stations freeze. Perfect. Anyway, yes, Monday, Tuesday, we're looking at half moon. Jeez, this ads are relentless. Half moon, right? So, you know, heading into not this weekend, but next weekend, we're looking at more the waxing effect going on, which means the moon will be getting brighter and the fish bite will become a little bit trickier. So, yeah, that's what we're looking at for moon phase. All right, now let's move on to our tide charts and go through it real quick before we cut out again. And then we'll let everybody get back to life. Had a nice show today. Had a bunch of bites going on. All right. So our tide, again, tides are very important for when you are fishing the inlets, right? Especially land-based guys. What needs to happen? I'll go over this real quick. If you're fishing an inlet, you need the outgoing tide. And it also needs to coincide with, you know, your morning hours or your evening hours as you're heading into dusk. Outgoing tide like this right now, right here, that is in the middle of the day, really doesn't do any good because the fish aren't, you know, that bite, the snapper bite, all that stuff really doesn't happen too lofty when the sun's overhead and, you know, especially the shore fishermen. So right now you do not have the tides on your side for fishing the morning time or the afternoon, right? You've got the incoming tide. If you fish the incoming tide, especially a shore fisherman, a land-based guy, you fish that incoming tide from a jetty at an inlet, you're going to catch nothing. It's that simple. All right. Trust me. And what happens is the tide, when the tide goes out, like it is right here, it pushes out all the sediment, the microorganisms, everything that bait fish eat. Come in and they eat all that goodness, and then they, the big fish, the pelagics, come in and eat them. That is how that goes. All right. So, you know, the tides are not on your side for the rest of the week until we head into the weekend. Then you're at the very end part of the outgoing tide heading into early next week. So starting early next week, when you'll have the end of the outgoing tide and the very end of it as dusk is setting. And as that the week progresses, the tide will be more favorable to do, you know, things like trolling in front of the inlet, jigging, reef fishing, all that stuff. And for the land-based guys especially, you know, get out there and fish those specific times of day where the fish bite is more active. All right, folks, that about does it for this episode. And before we leave, I want to invite you. Actually, let's talk a little bit. If you're in the market for fishing apparel, fishing shirt, right? We saw the young man, Gary's son. He was wearing a nice South Florida saltwater fishing shirt. If you're in the market for one of them UPF 50 shirts, go on ahead, check out our sponsor, WindRider. The link is in the description. It'll bring you right to this page. You know, they make these great shirts, UPF 50 shirts, which means you don't need sunscreen. They got gaiters built in. They got a hood built in. Get them with just a hood if you don't like the thing covering your face or being around your neck. And again, no sunscreen. They dry real quick, which is good. It's called a wicking effect. They have a great fast wicking effect. So if you get wet, it's going to dry real quick. You know, they keep you warm in the winter. They keep you cooler in the summer. And again, oops, I didn't mean to do that. And yeah, you know, you can get them customized. They got lots of colors to choose from. You can get the logo on the front, on the back. Support the brand, you know, lots to choose from. And again, it's not a fly-by-night company. They've been around for quite a while. I've been, you know, with them for a couple of years, and it's great stuff. And one more thing to mention, you know, it's fairly, they're fairly durable, right? They're very stain resistant. You get covered in mahi blood, you go home, throw that thing, put on a little spray and wash, throw it in the wash machine, you'll be fine. It'll come out almost brand new. All right, folks, that about does it for that. And the last thing before we head off, want to invite everyone to join South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report group on Facebook. Look it up. It is called the South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. Go on there. It's a private group. You got to ask to join, answer a couple of questions. Very simple. What's your favorite fish to catch? And, do you want to follow the rules? Like you saw, we had to kick somebody off, get rid of that post. No loitering, no selling stuff. Don't post your YouTube videos. If you're a YouTube guy, I promote other people's YouTube channels all day. Jason Reese, great. There's a couple of other folks that post periodically. Also, the charter captains love it when they share their stuff. We got Neil Link, Palm Beach Charters, Jim, 4J's Charters. We hear from Emily, who is the manager down at Starlight 101, the drift boat out of Pompano, right next to Hillsborough Inlet. So, folks, don't be shy. Get on there every Monday. We put up a post. We being me. Put up a post that says, hey, show what you caught. You don't have to post it there. You can post random posts like these folks did. And, if you post something, it's guaranteed to be shared during the live stream on Tuesday. And then again, I'm not perfect. I hope I don't miss anybody. If they do, hey, tell me, say, yo, man, what about me? And I'll make sure you get on. And like as I always say, if you post something, you will always have the chance of being the thumbnail picture for a live stream on that Tuesday. And what it looks like, it looks like South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report minus the date. It's up here, but you can't really see it because of the blue line, because I am the administrator. All right. And this YouTube group is what specifically drives this report every Tuesday. And I greatly appreciate everyone's submissions and, keeping everyone local in the know and what's biting. And as we saw, this is the time of year. Get out and get them dolphin and them tuna, folks. So, yeah, South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. If you're on Facebook, go on ahead and join. All right, folks, that about does it for this episode. And, had fun. Tons of great catches. Fortunately, the weather is going to, be a little wonky this coming weekend. So hopefully everybody's able to get out and, and keep it coming. All right. Yeah. Till next Tuesday, folks, South Florida Saltwater Fishing, going wherever the cool wind takes us.